All right, everybody, we have Diana Bynes here, whose jersey retirement ceremony was tonight. If you have any questions, please raise your hand and we'll bring the microphone over to you. All we ask is that you ask one question at a time.
Hi, Diana. You have, in the 80s, you have that experience then. I was just wondering your thoughts on the state of women's basketball now and, the changes you've seen and how that makes you feel.
Sure. Well, the women's basketball today has taken such leaps and bounds. I think today, I was just talking to another person out there today, and I was telling them how women, not just women, the parents, are actually investing in their female athletes today because of where women's athletics, period, has actually trajected themselves to. And because of that, there's more. Think of it as this: how male athletes, how they're trained early, they get them in the gym, they get them to understand and to increase their IQ, right? So that's what's going on today in female athletics. And because of that, there's the talent. It's far more, I think it's a generational. This generation of female athletes are totally different than my generation of female athletes, and I love it.
Diana, congratulations on the retirement of your jersey. Are you able to share with us a story, maybe a fun story about you and your teammates back when you were at DePaul?
Wow, sure, and thank you so much. A funny story? Wow.
I'll defer to you, whatever you want to tell us.
Yeah. If I had to think of a lot of things that was funny in my journey here at DePaul while being a student athlete, it would be how we all surrounded ourselves around my son. It was a family. They became my second family. They became his second parent, all balled up into one. And if I had a class or we had practice and we had to go get him from daycare or someplace like that, we all pitched in. And one day he just went and ran and he went to the dining hall by himself. And we all actually pitched in and went and found him, and it was just hilarious. And that's what I think of just family and having fun. Yeah.
Congratulations again. Sorry.
Thank you.
There was a video posted online, Doug Bruno giving you praise, and he called you the Michael Jordan of women's basketball. I'm just curious. What do you think of that comparison?
Wow. Doug has very interesting comparisons. But Coach Bruno, he's a wizard of the game. So if I'm honored to even be compared to Michael Jordan, as far as the female Michael Jordan. So I'm honored for one. But for me to think that he sees me as that, it makes me feel good. It makes me warm. It does. Thank you, Coach Bruno.
40-point down Wizard
We're getting there. Okay.
I one more.
Sure.
Briefly spoke about the women's game right now, how it's kind of exploding. All these great players are coming out. I guess what advice would you give to players now, like even the women's team now, or the players like Caitlin Clark, Paige Beckers right now? Like, what advice would you give them as they continue their rise?
Wow. You threw out a couple of great names out there, and I don't know. Those are like those in one narrative. I'll answer that in one narrative. I'm going to go back to grit. I think because athleticism comes at different levels. And if you want to get to that next level, you have to have grit. Because the players that are at that next level, they all have grit. Speaking of the names that you mentioned. And they're great players. I think we have great players here at DePaul, but we're young, right? So Doug, they're young, and I think that the grit that they came in with, it's going to continue to grow and get stronger. So if I had to say something to them, it would be maintain that grit culture. Yep.
Thank you.
Thank you, guys. All right, thank you. Ciao.